So you probably remember a few videos ago, I was training Willow, which is one of the dogs that we kept back to keep in our program for breeding. So now we have Hazel. She's just an amazing dog. She's a daughter of Honey, and we'll be keeping her back for our program for breeding, and we'll also be training her. So let me kind of explain to you what I do whenever I have a new puppy and how I train them in the house to just be the best possible family dog. Okay, so whenever we have a new puppy here, it's really important to build that relationship with them, talk to them a lot, you know, maybe give them some treats, you know, introduce all these different things to them. Now, whenever you're gonna give them a treat, you either wanna have a really small treat that's easy for them to eat, or you can give them cheese. I know if you've watched any of my videos on training, you've probably seen that I love to use that because it's an easy thing for them to swallow, and every single puppy loves cheese. I found that some puppies are very kind of picky about even treats. They don't really love them a whole lot. This dog, I haven't had a single problem. She loves these little mini, it's called Zook's natural treats. You know, you kind of just have to figure out what works best for you, but your relationship with the dog is honestly going to be the #1 thing when you're training them. And then we're gonna talk about structure. So then it's very important to put these dogs on a structured day. So that means they're going out every maybe 30 or 45 minutes while they're outside the crate. They're being trained consistently. And when I'm saying they're being trained, you only really need to do training sessions maybe at this age, probably, you know, anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes long. You want to keep it short and sweet. It's really important to get these dogs out and play with them. Just like if you had a little kid, they're going to go to the park, they're going to play. Just as important as it is to train them, it is to play with them. And whenever you're playing with them, some people think, oh, you're just playing with them, it's nothing to it. But you're actually doing a very important thing, which is building a relationship with that dog. So I always talk about, oh, you should be building a relationship with your dog, because whenever you have that strong relationship with the dog, the training comes a lot easier because they have that relationship with you. They're starting to pick up on what you're meaning whenever you talk. And a lot of it, whenever you're talking, is the tone of your voice. So a dog can pick up on the tone of your voice and kind of understand, is this something that I should be doing or I shouldn't be doing? And so it's very important to talk to your dog. Now, whenever I say talk to your dog, no, your dog's never really gonna learn English, but they will pick up on, you know, certain words and certain tones of what you're wanting from them. So my dogs that are now, you know, 4 or 5 years old, obviously they've lived with me so long and I've talked to them for so long that I can literally, you know, say certain things to them and they know exactly what I'm meaning whenever I say it. You know, there's no question about it. But if you're never really spending your time with your dog and you're not speaking to them and communicating with them, they'll never be able to form that type of thing. Come here. So there's a few things that you want to kind of emphasize on your dog whenever you're training them as a puppy. Now, once you get these things down, you can kind of build off of this. Now, when I'm showing this puppy right now, this is literally her first training session ever. So everything that I'm doing right now, it'll be her first time doing it. She actually just got her first treat today. Now, before this, I'm really more focused on building my relationship with the dog. So I didn't do a lot of hardcore training with her. I just kind of was building my relationship with her, doing a lot of off leash, kind of running around the yard and letting her just be a true puppy. And then as they develop, I'll kind of introduce the treats and kind of introduce more training to them. Now, as you can see right here, she's very well behaved, at least she has been right now. But if you keep a dog in the crate or you're keeping the dog up somewhere and you know, you let the dog out and you're like, oh my gosh, this dog is so crazy. Well, the dog is so crazy because you're not getting their energy out. You're not letting them do what they were born to do. And so I'm saying this all because just a few minutes ago, she was very excited. She was a little bit more rambunctious, and that's because she had been up in the crate, you know, all night. So whenever you let your dog out in the morning, don't be like, oh my gosh, this dog is wild. No, this dog just needs to get his energy out. Whenever you're starting your training, you want to do kind of the 3 things: sit, stay, and training the dog how to walk on a leash. When you do those types of things, those are really the most important things for me. And then you can kind of build off of that. You can build the place command. You could do, you know, maybe teaching the dog how to shake hands. You can teach the dog whatever else you want to teach them. But the first thing that I like to teach a dog is how to sit, how to stay, how to walk on a leash. And then I guess I could also add, you know, off-leash recall, which would be another side to that. But let's kind of work on the sit. So first, you're gonna work on the sit command, and then you're gonna build off of that with the stay. Come here, Hazel. So the way you literally do that is you sit. Good. There we go. So a dog's natural instinct is to sit. Once you do that, and then you push her head back. So the way I'm getting her to sit right now is you get her, come here, and then you put your hand back like this, and it'll make her sit down. Good. basically you'll hold the treat like this and then you'll go back. And whenever you go back, obviously she's like, oh, I gotta go like this, she'll sit. And then you'll say the word sit and she'll sit. Now, if a dog is not wanting to do that, you can physically make her just, hold on. Come here. You can physically sit and you can do it like that. It's a fairly simple process. This is literally the first time that she's ever done this command. Come here. Sit. Good. Come here. Sit. Good girl. So she catches on extremely fast. And as you do this more and more, you won't have to, come here. Come here, Hazel. Sit. There. So as she gets more and more, you can kind of stop going back over her head with your hand and she'll kind of pick up on it a lot quicker. Come here, Hazel. Good. Sit. Good. You'll build off that. Come here. Come here. Sit. Hold on, hold on. Hold on, hold on. There. Come here, Hazel. This is a really fast progression, but sit. Come here, come here, come here. Sit. There. Stay. Stay. Hold on. So you'll get her to stay. So, hold on. So, hold on. Hold on. There we go. Stay. Good. So reward the quick stays. So this is the way you're gonna do it. Come here. Sit. Sit. Hold on, hold on. So you gotta walk her through the steps. So she sat. Good. So you want her to keep staying. Okay. Stay. Hold on, hold on, hold on. You're almost there. Sit. Stay. Sit. Sit. Come here. Come here. Sit. Hold on. You're almost there. Sit. Good. Good. Sit. Hazel. All right. So this is actually a really good point. So she's starting to lose a little bit of focus. So sit. All right. And that's it. So we're going to end the session right there. That was her first training session literally ever. You ended on a good note. Once you see the puppy kind of starting to lose of interest, you stop it. You want to stop and you want to end on a good note. So, you know, I was kind of incorporating, I don't know if I'll see if I can kind of fast forward and get her to stay, but we'll, you know, the second session, we'll probably be able to get her to do that. But what I'm trying to explain to you is these puppies have a very short attention span at this age. So whenever you kind of start to see them kind of doze off or want to do something else, you get maybe one good command, one more good sit command, and then you end it. Because you always want to finish that training session on a good note and really fast, quick, simple, to the point, okay, next. And then you can just do short training sessions throughout the day. So, I mean, you could do 2 or 3 more training sessions later. So you give her a little bit of a rest, you know, let her just be a true puppy and then come back to this. All right, so let's talk about the crate. This is something that most dogs, it's not their favorite thing. It's definitely not Hazel's favorite thing. She honestly hates the crate, but she's getting a lot better at it, and that's just the reality of it. You know, some dogs, they'll tolerate it. You know, in a rarity, some dogs love it. Willow actually did love the crate. She really did like it. But Hazel, on the other hand, it's not her favorite. So let's talk about what are a few things that you can do to kind of help with the crate. All right, so let's talk about the crate. This is a thing that is a necessity for anybody that has a puppy. I don't care how good the puppy is. I don't care how bad the puppy is. A crate, when it comes to training your dog, is so important. So let's talk about it. Some dogs love it. Some dogs tolerate it. Most dogs hate it. Hazel's definitely one of the puppies that she just, you know, she's okay with it, but she definitely does not love it. She barks a little bit inside the crate. All the very normal things. If your puppy barks inside the crate, it doesn't make it a bad puppy and it doesn't make it a great puppy. It just kind of, it's just a puppy. That's what happens. So let's talk about how to minimize those types of things. So there's kind of a troubleshooting type of thing that you have to do with puppies to kind of figure out what works best for them inside the crate. So whenever you have a puppy, some puppies you'll find love to be in a crate. Whenever I'm talking about this at night. So Some puppies love to be in a crate, but they want to be in your room. So if they know you're in the room, for some reason they'll be quiet. Some puppies, if they hear you in the room, then they'll start barking. So you should put that puppy outside of, maybe like in the living room or somewhere where it's quiet, maybe dark, they can't see a lot of things. And then some puppies, funny enough, they like to have, this is what I've experienced, they like to have stuffed animals in the crate with them. Now, if you have a dog that is a big chewer, I wouldn't do this because you don't want them to swallow something or obviously shred everything. So it's just something that you have to figure out. I remember I had a puppy that I literally would have to put a little stuffed animal in there and they would completely be quiet, but if I wouldn't put in a stuffed animal in there, they would start barking. So it's just one of those things where you kind of have to figure out what works best for your puppy. Another thing is, whenever you're putting them in the crate for the rest of the night to go to sleep, don't try to remove the water about 2 hours before, because if they guzzle a bunch of water and then you put them in the crate, obviously they're gonna need to pee. They might even pee in the crate, or they'll just bark because they need to go outside. So those are a few things that you need to kind of troubleshoot, kind of play around with and figure out what works best for you. Another thing is, I feel like kind of obvious, but if your dog is barking a lot at night, you should try and get their energy out, maybe take them on a long walk, play with them, really exercise them before you're putting them in the crate, and hopefully that'll kind of make it a little bit easier. Another thing is, you can cover like half the crate. Don't, leave one side open so they can obviously breathe, but cover half the crate in like a blanket or something like that so they can't see out and see distractions. But this is honestly probably one of the easiest things, and the reason that we crate our dogs is because it keeps them out of trouble and it keeps them only doing the right things. So if I just let this puppy, if I left the house or I'm sleeping and I just let this puppy do whatever it wants, it's going to chew up things, it's going to get in a lot of trouble, it's gonna pee and poop everywhere, and it's not going to be doing the right things. So when you put them in a crate, it keeps them out of trouble and not letting them form bad habits of pooping everywhere, peeing everywhere, or even chewing up things. So this allows me to, whenever I let this dog out of this crate, I can direct them in the right way and make sure that they're only doing the right things and they're not picking up bad habits. So what I like to always tell people is, when you're not playing with the dog, when you're not focused on the dog, let them go in the crate. When you're playing with them and you're focused on them, take them out. The first thing you should do whenever you get a dog out of the crate, let them go outside to see if they need to use the bathroom. Then while they're inside and they're playing with you and you're focused on them, maybe you're training them or they're sitting on the couch watching TV with them, all the things that you would do with your dog. Every 30 to 45 minutes for the first few weeks of having a new puppy, you should be taking them outside and seeing if they need to use the bathroom. Now, as they kind of learn the systems and they learn potty training, you can obviously prolong that. So, you can go to an hour, 2 hours, and then, you have a fully trained, potty trained dog where it will either tell you or you can kind of just pick up like, oh yeah, this dog probably needs to go out to the bathroom. So that's kind of the systems. But when it comes to should I use a crate or not, in my opinion, it's a non-negotiable. I don't know how, I know, maybe if you have one dog you could possibly do without a crate, but I have never been able to raise a dog without a crate. I probably could, it just would be a lot harder and it wouldn't be as successful and as fast of potty training and all those types of things. So whenever it comes to crate training your dog, it's a necessity. The other thing is, you shouldn't have too big of a crate. So you want just a big enough crate, this size is perfect, where it's about the length of the dog, the height of the dog, they can spin around plenty. They can turn around, they can move around, but it's not big enough to where they can pee or poop on one side and then sleep on the other side. So you want it just big enough to where they have enough room, but they don't want to sleep where they use the bathroom. So if you do have a dog that does use the bathroom, maybe in the crate, that's one way that you can kind of help maybe avoid it. Every dog's different. Some dogs, they don't really care. They'll still use the bathroom and just lay in it, and it just is what it is. So, and that's usually just a puppy tendency. And that's something that they'll just kind of grow out of as they get older. Another thing is, people get these dogs and they're like, oh my gosh, this dog is just so terrible. I can't train it. I can't do, all these things. Sometimes your dog is literally just a puppy and you just need to let it grow up and get better and become just a better dog. So that's what I have found. A lot of the times, a lot of the problems that most people have, they just need to let their dog grow up a little bit and they'll grow out of a lot of those things. All right, so this is Lilia and Opie's litter of puppies. These are actually half siblings. They have the same dad as Hazel, the puppy that I had just showed you. But look how just amazing they are, just great. This is black collar boy and this is green collar girl. And they came out just amazing. So they're all going home this week and next week. So we only have 4 puppies still that haven't gone home quite yet. But just honestly, the best that you could ask for. Let me show you. This is red collar girl, super blocky little puppies. But this is exactly what you're looking for whenever you're getting a puppy. This guy right here, is really everything that I'm looking for in that perfect Goldendoodle. He's super blocky, very calm, just hang out type of personality. And he's got that kind of wavy coat to him, the red coloring, everything really. This would definitely be a successful litter is what I would call it. So we'll probably be breeding them. So Lilia's only got one more litter. So we're really excited. We'll be keeping back a puppy from this litter. Let me show you her real quick. All right, so the grass is a little bit wet, so her paws are a little bit wet, but this is the little girl that we're gonna be keeping back. Look how happy she is. This is dark blue collar girl, just an amazing puppy, very well built structure, an amazing blocky head on her, and her personality is just everything that I'm wanting. So I'm really excited about this little guy. So Lilia, like I just said, she's gonna be retired later this year. So this girl right here will be kind of the one that we have kept back from her to kind of carry on her legacy, because Lilia's really been one of the best dogs that I've had. So I'm really excited to see her grow. She's got the little white on her chest, on top of her head, on her paws, all 4 paws. It kind of looks a little bit like Willow. All right, so training your puppy to walk on a leash. Let's talk about it. So I get people ask me all the time, what do you recommend? Do you like the leash or the harness? What do you like to use to train your dog to walk on a leash? The answer to that question is I don't like neither of them. So whenever I'm training a dog to walk on a leash, I like to use a slip lead. Why do I like to use a slip lead? Because whenever they pull, it tightens up, and then whenever they walk with you, it loosens. So it's a very easy thing for the puppy to learn that, okay, whenever I'm pulling, it's gonna get, you know, a little bit uncomfortable around my neck, but then whenever I walk correctly and with them, it's very comfortable, it's loose, there's no problem. So we're gonna just slip this around her neck, put her down. Now this is her first time, again, ever on a leash. So what are we gonna do? We're literally just gonna get her moving a little bit, get her understanding that, oh, I'm on a leash, what that looks like. And then we're just going to literally just sit here and we're gonna let her just understand what this means, okay? They might freak out a little bit. They might, you know, not like it. This is very normal. This is what happened with Willow. This is what happens with every single puppy, or just about every single puppy. You know, a day or so, or even sooner than that, they're walking like a dream. And here's a little video of Willow walking as I'm kind of talking about this. That it's very easy. They pick it up very quickly. And as you can see here, Willow is just doing amazing. But this is kind of the start of doing this. You kind of let them learn that, okay, I'm on this leash. It feels a little bit weird around my neck. And then you're gonna get them, come on, good. Get them to kind of follow you as they're going. Come on, come on, come on. You might have to pull them a little bit, and then they learn. You know, you just go with them, and you want to be confident, okay? So being confident is very important. This is one of the processes that, you know, they're not very sure what's going on. So whenever you're confident, they can kind of feel that energy, and they can kind of feed off of you a little bit. Come here. Come here, good. You also don't want to start this process in a super busy area that maybe they're not so sure of, or they've never been to. You know, a driveway or even in your house is a good place to start with, or in your yard, anywhere where they're more confident. Don't go to a park where there's a bunch of dogs around or a bunch of people around and that be kind of their first place. So as you can kind of see, she's like, what's going on right here? And this is good. This is what you want. Just let them freak out. You don't have to, you know, pull them anywhere or anything like that. But as they kind of get more onto it, you'll just kind of slightly tug them a little bit. Come on. Good, good. So you can see her kind of starting to walk a little bit more with me. She's not giving as much resistance. Come on, come on. So a lot of just back and forth kind of repetition, and as she goes, she'll grow. So just like when I was training her to sit and all those types of things, you want to kind of keep this in a short type of duration. So we'll kind of do this for maybe a few minutes, and then we'll just quit and we'll stop and we'll come back to it. You know, the first time that a dog is on a leash should not be the first time that you're gonna maybe take the dog on a walk or anything like that. It should be strictly just to kind of introduce them to the leash, let them figure it out, and then as they kind of get it and they learn it, then you can take them on a longer walk. But within a few days, she'll have this down pat, no problem. Come here. Come here, come here. Come here. Good puppy. Come on. So she's definitely getting the hang of it. Does she love it? No, but as she gets older, as she does it more, she'll pick it up a lot quicker. The next video, if we do another video with her, she'll be walking like a champ. So this is very normal. And I just really want to show this to people so that when their puppy's doing it, they're not like, oh my gosh, my dog's so terrible. Like, no, this is very normal. Your dog's gonna maybe freak out a little bit, or your dog might not. You know, every dog is different, just like humans. We're very different. We experience things differently. So if your dog does freak out a little bit, that's very normal. You just keep doing it, keep working at it, and they, you know, within a few days, they pick it up extremely fast. So, you know, within maybe a few days, this dog's gonna be healing and walking, no problem. So that's kind of how you do it. You let them freak out a little bit, and whenever they do that, just stand still and let them kind of work it out, and then just work with positive reinforcement and showing them that, like, look, this is a fun thing, it's not so bad, and within a few days, they'll be champs. All right, so it's been a long day of training with Hazel. She's just done amazing. So she's gonna go to sleep in the honey bed. If you're not following the Instagram, it's right here. She just did an amazing job. There's also some other training videos on my YouTube, my TikTok, my Instagram, Facebook that you can kind of watch and learn more if you're interested about training your puppy. But at the end of the day, it's all about just investing your time, you know, building a relationship with your puppy, and the more just repetition you do, the better. And trust me, if you're freaked out, maybe like you're a little bit frustrated with your puppy, they'll come around. Every dog does. Hazel is doing an amazing job, and we're not expecting her to be perfect because no dog is, but she's doing an amazing job, and she's catching on very, very quickly, which we love to see. At the end of the day, it's all about just putting in the work and letting time also do the work, because a lot of that is just letting the puppy grow up and get a little bit older. Thanks for watching. If you're interested in anything else, you can always comment. I can help you with any questions that you have. Follow the Instagram right here, and the TikTok and the Facebook. And if you have anything else, just let me know. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.